many likely to be talking points for years to come. But it also raised questions about the future. What does it hold for David Beckham after his foolish flick? And what of Michael Owen, the teenager with the world quite literally at his feet? Will Walden reports.
With one moment of madness, David Beckham probably cost England a place in the World Cup quarter-finals, and in the process transformed himself from hero to villain overnight. Only a week ago, the papers were baying for his inclusion when Beckham rewarded them against Colombia. He was a saviour. This morning, he was no saviour. The headlines told a very different story. And this on a day when it was revealed Beckham earns £8.1 million a year, more than any other England player, making him the 9th richest footballer in the world.
When we miss out, we have to try to wonder how we did it, who was responsible, you know, who's to blame, and I've no doubt that David Beckham will probably take a lot of responsibility there.
Beckham's dismissal also meant England were without their key penalty taker. David Batty, whose miss put Argentina through, had never even taken a penalty before last night. For England, it was an old, familiar story. In 1990, there was heartbreak for Stuart Pearce and Chris Waddle. Their errors cost England a place in the World Cup final. Gareth Southgate did it again in the European Championships 2 years ago. And yet England have been practising penalties since they arrived in France. So they are on the way home, but they have another chance at the 2002 World Cup in Japan. By then, Michael Owen will be 22, and with it, a very rich man. His wonderful finish last night further enhanced an already glowing reputation. Offers of club football in Italy and Spain will almost certainly follow.
Well, I don't know what it was worth last night, but whatever it was worth last night, you can treble that. Minimum treble it.
England may be out, but this lunchtime an army of football fans have a new hero. Will Walden, ITN Sport.
Well, our sports correspondent Graham Miller has been following the highs and the lows of England's long campaign, and he joins us now from the team headquarters at La Baule. Graham, we heard Glenn Hoddle saying that David Beckham shouldn't be made a scapegoat, but will the fans see it that way?
Well, we hope not, and Glenn Hoddle made a point of saying that he hopes the fans support David Beckham over the coming summer. He says Beckham is very down this morning, and in fact, as you can probably see for the first time throughout this World Cup, it's even raining here in La Baule. I think it reflects the feelings of the nation at the moment. But he says none of the team are blaming Beckham for what happens, and he hopes that Beckham will learn from it, and indeed, he says, become a better player for it. In Hoddle's opinion, it wasn't a violent act, just a foolish one. Perhaps it should have been a yellow card rather than a red one, and at that stage, Hoddle believes England would have gone on to win. He's going to have a word with Beckham this afternoon, as he's going to speak to all the players before they go home, but he wants to lift Beckham, to put him in the right frame of the mind for the rest of the summer, and indeed for the start of the next season to come.
And what of Michael Owen? Presumably his agent's phone is now ringing red hot.
Well, yes, he started this World Cup as a prospect, didn't he? He's now going home as a world superstar after his tremendous performances, and that goal last night was simply sensational. I mean, they'll be queuing up outside the front doors of Liverpool with all sorts of extraordinary checks. It'll be interesting to see just how much longer Liverpool can hang on to him. But now, you know, people are talking about Michael Owen of England more so than Alan Shearer. He really has made that impact in a short time, and as Hoddle said, had England gone even further, goodness knows how far Michael Owen would have gone by the end of this World Cup.
Graham, thanks a lot.
Here there were some outbreaks of violence as fans took out their frustration after the defeat. Bedford was one town where trouble broke out despite a strong police presence. Elsewhere in Peterborough, officers used riot shields and CS spray after fighting broke out among 100 supporters.
Other news now, and the newly elected
finals.